Hi there. Thank you for joining me today to watch my presentation of Safe Together that I created for the Res Dog Networking Conference in Winnipeg, Manitoba in 2025. This is the presentation that I created for this Res Dog Networking Conference. So this is my presentation of Safe Together, Understanding Dogs, Preventing Dog Bites, Supporting Communities, presented by me, Jodie Fitzgerald. Welcome. Thank you. Good morning, and thank you everybody for watching my video and attended the Res Dog Networking Conference. I want to begin by acknowledging that we have all gathered here on the traditional territory of the Indigenous people of Manitoba. I am truly grateful to be welcomed at this event where I was able to present this presentation. I also want to take a moment to recognize the people in Indigenous communities who continue to care for and protect the dogs in their communities, often with very limited resources and incredibly challenging conditions. And thank you to the rescue workers all across the province who are still to this day working endlessly to help dogs and people and the people who love them. Thank you. You are the heart of this work. Why I am here? I am very compassionate. I care about community. My name is Jodie Fitzgerald. I'm a dog trainer and advocate who believes that when we understand dogs better, we can create safer and kinder communities for everyone. I'm a former nurse in Winnipeg, Manitoba for 24 years. I have a deep respect for all cultures. I am an advocate for total welfare, dogs and people. I have spent years supporting spay and neuter clinics, rescue, and education, inspired by the tireless work of helping res dogs. This is about more than dogs. It's about trust, safety, and healing for all. I'd like to begin by sharing a story that shaped this path for me, one I've carried with me ever since it happened. In 2016, I had the privilege of visiting Sagging Community School as part of a local dog rescue group. We brought several rescue dogs to the school gym, and let me tell you, those dogs did a lot of tricks. The kids were smiling and laughing and completely interested in what we were doing. We also shared a little bit about dog safety, simple things like how to approach a dog and when not to. Nothing fancy, just a few tips and lots of fun. But the moment that stays with me all these years actually happened outside. There were dogs hanging around the yard. Some stayed back, some came right up to us. And the kids, they knew those dogs. They knew their names. They knew who they belonged to. What really struck me was how many of the children had never seen dogs do tricks before. Now, tricks aren't the most important thing, but what mattered was what those tricks represented. They showed the kids that dogs can be friends, that they can trust us, even the blind dogs. It wasn't about obedience or showing off. It was about connection. It was about trust. And for many of the children, that was a new thing to see in dogs. I also met people in the sagging community who were dedicated to helping dogs, amazing, compassionate humans who were doing the hard heart work of rescue right there. They inspired me. That experience changed me. I've never forgotten those children, those dogs, or that day. It's a big part of why I do what I do today and why I'm standing here today to help build bridges between people and dogs, between safety and compassion, between fear and understanding. Today, I want to go over I've shared a personal story. I wanted to discuss the heart of the matter, the missing link, including the legs model. Survival is the goal for dogs and all. The shift that changes everything, why dogs bite, some body language basics, trust prevents bites, community action through stories that heal, closing reflections, what's next, and how we can teach and share and lead together. The heart of the matter, in many of our communities, dogs are everywhere. Some are friendly, some are scared, and some when pushed too far can become dangerous. This is a serious and complicated issue. There's no one easy answer. But one thing we can do right now is help protect our children, families, and neighbors. We can do that by learning to recognize warning signs in dogs and teaching basic safety skills, especially to kids. Today isn't about judgment, it's about sharing knowledge. It's about helping everyone feel a little safer while also respecting the lives of dogs. The legs model is what I see as the missing link in modern dog training. Even before I knew it had a name, I understood that a dog's behavior wasn't just about obedience, it came from their experience, instincts, surroundings, and inner world. When I discovered Kim Brophy's work and the legs model, it gave me language for something I already felt deeply. LEGS stands for learning, environment, genetics, and self. And it doesn't just apply to dogs, it applies to all living beings. Every one of us, animal or human, is shaped by what we've learned, the environment we live in, the genetics we carry, and who we are at our core. It's a model rooted in compassion, not control. Every being is doing their very best to survive. Behavior that looks like a problem is often just a way of coping with a difficult world. I remember hearing about tragic dog attacks. To this day, I still hear them on so many of the First Nations. It's heartbreaking and brings a lot of fear and pain, but it also makes me something very clear. These dogs weren't bad. They were just trying to survive in a situation where their basic needs, structure, and safety were missing. If we look at that situation through the legs lens, what had those dogs learned from living without regular human interaction or care? What kind of environment were they navigating? One with little food, no containment, and no human guidance? What are their genetics? Were they born to be guardians or hunters without proper outlets? And who were they as individuals, each with their own self, their own stress, fear, and needs? Understanding these pieces doesn't excuse the harm, but it does help us see how important it is to address the whole picture if we want to make our communities safer for both people and dogs. In many Indigenous teachings, we are reminded that every being has a story, a purpose, and a spirit, and that includes dogs. The legs gives us a way to listen to those stories through behavior, through context, and through compassion. It helps us see the dog, not just the behavior. What experiences have shaped them? What environment are they adapting to? What instincts lie in their genetics? And who are they? What do they need to feel safe? This model doesn't just help us manage behavior, it helps us honor the life behind it. This is the shift that changes everything. Legs shifts the way we see dogs and all animals. It asks us to stop saying, what's wrong with the dog, and start asking, what has this dog been through, and what do they need from us now? That shift is powerful. It turns fear into understanding, punishment into support, and frustration into empathy. It reminds us that behind every behavior is a being doing their very best to survive. And when we start responding with care, safety, and connection, we start building stronger communities, not just for dogs, but for all of us. We often hear that bite came out of nowhere, but rarely it does. Dogs bite when they're scared, hurt, or overwhelmed. If we miss their signals, they feel forced to protect themselves. Most bites happen because a dog feels afraid, maybe fearful of people, loud noises, or sudden movements. They're in pain, injury, illness, or being touched in a sore spot, protective, guarding their puppies, food, home, or family, or if they're surprised, startled when they're sleeping. Biting is a dog's last way to say, I need space. By recognizing early signs of fear or stress, we can prevent many bites before they happen. Dog body basics. Dogs speak with their bodies, yawning, looking away, lip licking. These are signs of stress. Growling is a warning, not aggression. Aggression. Freezing means this is serious. Please stop. If we listen early, we avoid the bites. Bites. So dogs speak with their body, not with words. Learning to read a dog's body language can help us stay safe. Watch for signs a dog is feeling worried or uncomfortable. Stiff body, tucked tail, they're turning away, yawning, lip licking, showing the whites of their eyes. They're warning signs. Some examples of emotional states when they're pain or if they're sick, if they're surprised or maybe they're protecting, if they're afraid or hungry. Some of the early signs that a dog will show, cowering, turning away. Here we go, just examples of it, sniffing the ground. This would be so great for children to be able to see this in the schools, to have this type of education, for them to learn when they're young, to keep them safe. You're yawning, wide eyes. The dog is looking away with wide eyes, blinking their eyes. The tail position, it can be like a mood meter. If they're high, they're usually on alert. Confidence can also mean the dog is feeling tense or assertive. Neutral or mid-level indicates more relaxed, calm, curious dog. Or low or tucked tail is usually very fearful, anxious, or submission. Tail movement matters too. A wag does not always mean a happy dog. We need to look at the whole picture to understand the full picture. Building trust prevents bites. When dogs feel safe, they don't need to defend themselves. Trust comes from meeting their needs and respecting their space. It's not about control, it's about understanding. Respect and care are the foundation of trust, both with dogs and with people. Just like people, dogs are more likely to trust and feel safe when they are treated with kindness, patience, and understanding. We can't control every situation, but we can control how we respond. When we respect a dog's space and emotions and respect each other's experiences, we create safer, stronger communities for everyone. Knowledge is prevention. Kids are amazing teachers when they're empowered. Educating children about dog safety isn't just about preventing injuries, it's about empowering them to build respectful, trusting relationships with animals. When kids learn how to read body language, dog body language, and respect boundaries, they become safer, more compassionate, and more confident around dogs. The need for education is clear. It's estimated there's over 500,000 dog bites in Canada every year. That's about 42 people bitten every hour. According to the Humane Society of Canada, in September 2024, they quoted that there is a dog bite in Canada every 60 seconds. These numbers remind us how important it is to start with prevention, and that starts with education. Together, let's build a safer future. Every small act of education plants the seed of safety. Sharing story brings healing, understanding, and hope. Families, schools, communities can make a big difference, starting with just one conversation. When we listen, learn, and lead with compassion, we can create safer spaces for both dogs and people. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Every story shared, every child taught, every moment spent understanding a dog's needs, it all adds up. You don't need to do everything. We just need to start somewhere. Education is the bridge to safety, connection is the path to healing, and community is where change begins. Let's keep learning, let's keep sharing, and keep walking forward together.